All right. Good morning, all. Welcome to Coffee and Crafts. I got to fix my camera here. It's got a little bit of that weird. Okay, there we go. How y'all doing this morning? I'm doing terrible. I'm sorry, but I've got this cold and I cannot shake the damn thing. My throat is destroyed. I got no voice. I taught yesterday for 9 straight hours after our sessions, and nothing left in the tank. I'm sorry. So I don't have a whole lot planned to talk about today, but I do want to get to as many questions and comments that you all have. So if you want to, do me a favor, put a PC, capital PC, in front of anything you want me to see. And I'll answer questions all day. I got a couple things I do want to talk about, but really let's make this a little bit interactive today. And then tomorrow, the show is going to be all on the computer. I'll talk about that here kind of in a minute of what I want to do tomorrow. But yeah, good morning. Let's get right into it here and talk about the come out roll today. Couple things. One is, again, Friday night, Vince versus Nemo. It's going to be a barn burner. It's going to be really cool. I can't wait for that one. It's going to be fun to deal or box, whatever happens for that one. That's going to be fun. Me and Chris will probably take care of that. It'll be a good one. Craps Chat Sunday. As you know, Jeff's coming back from Vegas. I'm sure we'll have lots of great stories to tell from the Arizona or from the Big AZ trip in Vegas. And the Big AZ and Craps Nation, by the way, these guys are crushing it out there. I think George is out there with them. A couple of guys have had some really great roles. You look at some of the trip reports that are coming out. It's been an interesting trip for sure. I wish I could have been down there, but picked up this extra shift this week and I couldn't make it happen. And actually, with the being sick, it wouldn't have been smart to go down there anyway and get everybody else exposed. So better that I'm home here with you all instead. And the Midmo Yo Bedazzled contest is happening next week. He's got his anniversary this weekend, so happy anniversary, Chiro. And Mrs. Chiro, and enjoy your trip to Kansas. And we'll see you next week for the finals of that. And it got mentioned in chat. I didn't put it here, but mentioned in chat. The Dice Degen March Madness tournament is well underway. If you're not on that, get on that. Make sure you subscribe to the notifications on Chris's channel for those videos. They're really good. He usually has one that he's running that's like a strategy that he wanted to run that's in the bracket, and then a player comes on live and plays against that strategy. It's great. It's fun to because it's not always one of us. It's not always another YouTuber out there. Sometimes it's a subscriber that jumps in live. It's great putting faces to names, voices to words, and watching guys play their way. It's very, very cool. I'm enjoying the hell out of that series. It's awesome. So yeah, get in that for sure. What else is happening here? Let's talk about, I want to talk about what happened this morning. Let me get to my here. The daily paychecks. Let's get into this a little bit. I think this tracks perfectly with what we've been talking about, excuse me, for the week here, which is this. First of all, the Philly special is 1 and 2, and I predicted it was going to go 1 and 4 and win $10,000, right? We haven't had that huge win yet. And we're 1 and 2. We're down 4K, 76%. We're getting destroyed. Why are we getting destroyed? Is the first question. Why is this thing getting its ass kicked so badly? It's because 2 reasons. One, it's purely right side, right? There's no hybrid here, right? The hybrids tend to do a little better in this paycheck series. There's no hybrid side to it, right? So it's your 270 out there, or 130 out there, or 64 out there, whatever your base level is for the Philly paycheck. You can play it at all those levels. Whatever your base is, when you have 10 shooters, and today we had about 10 or 11 shooters, and 9 of them go 0.7 out, or 0.1 hit and out. When you go 270 out, even if you were on a straight collect, you're going to bring in $60 9 times, and the rest of it's going to go bye-bye. You're down 210 every single shooter. For me, I was down 270 every single shooter. I had one shooter in the very beginning that had, at one point, was up about $250 or so. One shooter at the end that was a 14 roller that was helping us climb back out of the hole. We didn't get out of the hole with that guy. That was it. We had a 14 roller, a 9 roller, and everything else was 2 or 3. Just a garbage day of throwing. All right, no right side strategy will ever make it when that's the case. And I think when I look at what makes a good daily paycheck, and that's what my next talk is going to be, what is a good daily paycheck? Okay, and I talked to Ken from Ken Knows Gambling on the phone yesterday, and I want to make sure I make this point abundantly clear. That strategy is fun. The Philly paycheck is fun, or the Philly special is a fun strategy. It's great when you're up, right? If I had done something else and won $300 and I had $300 in excess, sure, lay it out there and go for it. That's a great home run hitter. When I run it in wind craps, and I'll show you some wind craps tomorrow with this thing, of all the strategies that I've got against my controlled practice tosses, it does the best. It clearly outpaces everything else because it catches the hot roll unlike any other strategy. It also gets whacked on every single bad roll, okay? If you're gonna try and make a daily paycheck, win a consistent 10% or 20% or whatever the number you're looking to win is. Ken's looking to win $300 a day. I'm looking to win $500 a day. You cannot do it with a home run strategy. You can't do it with a pure, I don't care if you're gonna go whatever, 204 across and collect $50 every shot, right? You need to get 8, 9, 10 hits to make it work, right? If you're gonna go out there at 430 across, right, where everything pays 100, you need to get 5 hits to guarantee yourself. Every time you get whacked, you go down $400, right? This is the problem with making a paycheck with a normal right side crap strategy. And as we've done the paycheck series all this time, I've done 160 shows now or something like that of the paycheck series. What has won? The things that have won have some consistent qualities to them. One, they're generally low volatility, okay? Generally, the come ladder, the headless horseman, the 3-point Johnny, the 3-point Dolly, right? Those have a generally speaking low volatility play. They're low house edge bets. They're played at high enough levels, so we only need 3 or 4 wins, right? 3-point Dolly, you get 2 wins, you're out, right? The headless horseman, 2 wins, you're out, right? 2.7 outs, you're 5 units up and you're gone, right? Those are the ways that you make money in the paycheck on a consistent basis, because you got to have, you shouldn't need to have 10 hits to make money or 15 hits to make money. It's too long, right? You want low volatility plays. You want some fight back. The horseman fights back. Even if it gets hit, it doesn't get hit hard, right? You get 3 come bet set and a 7 comes, your don't pass bet covers part of that action and it fights back on the next time through. The horsemen, like the come ladder, like the southern border to some extent, are nimble strategies. If you look at the crossbow, we did the crossbow, which is a pure right side, right? It's $500 between the place bets and the field, but we have a don't pass play. It's nimble enough to switch and go hard into the don't if we need to, right? If the don't pass is like today, it's all 0.7 outs, that don't pass parlay we do would have won us our paycheck even while we're losing up top, okay? So more, I don't want to say hybrid plays, but more plays that can switch and favor a side versus the other side. That's how you make a paycheck. You don't make a paycheck by throwing it all out there and praying for a hot roller. It's just not the way to do it. And this strategy proves that. This strategy proves that. So as we explore what it takes to make a daily paycheck, way back we did the unicorn. What's a unicorn? The survive the come out, get me 2 hits to be even, let me have a chance at a good roll. It works as a paycheck, but really the paychecks need to be this: low volatility, small number of wins, fight back, be nimble and cross over the sides, okay? Next week, we're gonna try the Tim Horton strategy, which has a lot of fight back in it, okay? It doesn't require a ton of wins, but it's got a good fight back mechanism because of the way that Dr. S ladders it up. So that's gonna be our play next week, and see if that is, again, it's a higher volatility play, but I think because it has some fight back built in, we may have a shot with it. Now with my rolls today, the Tim Horton would have went to 0, right? Because I 7'd out so many times, it wouldn't have made it, right? So that's what my thoughts are, having done this for so long. And again, I have played come ladder, southern border type strategies my whole life, and I have survived the craps tables my whole life by doing those kinds of things. The reason why I will say, without proof, because I never tracked it for a lot of years, but I think I'm a lifelong positive on the craps table, but only because I play, generally speaking, pretty low volatility and conservative plays while I'm there. I will be super aggressive, as you well know, on the good roller. My strategies set me up for paycheck style success, and then boom, if it happens for me. I have enough big wins to offset the ugly days. But generally speaking, I'm a low volatility person. So that's, I think, what makes a paycheck. Now, if you want to make money, you want to go out there and and empty out the casino's rack, play the Philly special on a 40 roller, right? The Philly special on a 40 roller, that's going to bring in 10, 15, 20 grand, right? That's that kind of a strategy. Even today on the 14 roller that we had today, that thing was up over $1,000 in the 14 rolls. We just didn't pull back. So let's talk about why I didn't pull back. Let's go back here. Let's go back to this screen. Why didn't I pull back? Okay, there was a point in time there where we had lost, what was it, 8, 9 in a row, something like that. And I was down, I think it was down to $3,500, somewhere like that. And we caught that 14 roller. And it was at roll 13 where we had fought back, right? We had, I think, I want to say 770 or 870. Maybe it was 870 out there on the felt. I think it was 870. 870 in bets, right? And we were still down. My total bankroll, including what was in the rack and what was on the felt, was at $4,100. We had fought back from being down $2,000 to being $1,100 or $900 down. And I made the decision, and I said it there on the show, this is the perfect time to regress because the number was even. I think it was 870. We could have put, no, it was 770. I could have put 500 in the rack and reset my bet to 270. That's the perfect, it was a nice even number too, right? But you're looking at yourself and the rack and you're saying, well, at what time do I regress? The pullback here question is, when do you pull back, right? Vince and Dr. S talk a lot about out of sight, out of mind, which is when you get your rack to even, your bankroll neutral, that's when you start pulling back, right? You're in recovery mode until you're at bankroll even, bankroll neutral. We were still $900 away from bankroll neutral in that hand. We needed that shooter to get us to bankroll neutral before it made sense to regress. Had I regressed at that point in time, excuse me, our loss today would have been $1,500 or $1,300 instead of $1,800. Okay, it helps mitigate some of the loss, but it wasn't the full thing. I chose to stay in that hand to try and get us to bankroll neutral, and then I would have regressed down to the 270 and started again. Again, knowing that the strategy in 5 more rolls, going from 13 to 18 or 19 rolls, that's the difference between being down 1,000 and up 1,000 because of the acceleration of those bets. So I made that decision today tactically to do it. And again, I knew if we had a 7, we could have this conversation. If I won, we'd have a different conversation. But here's the question, and I asked it yesterday. When do you pull back? Do you go all the way back to base, or do you pull back to another level? Like, in other words, the base level today was 270. I could have racked it 270 and went back out at 540 and restarted it from like a higher tier. There's lots of options that you've got there, and really it's how do you want to play it? And I think that's the question. Today I went and played it extra foot on the gas because I wanted to get us back to bankroll neutral, thinking that if this is the roller that will do it, let's get to bankroll neutral at least, and use the power of the strategy to make it work. It didn't work out, but that was the reason why I did it. I wanted to use it to get to neutral and see it work out. So again, there's definitely good conversations in there. I know some of you were probably pulling your hair out saying, get the hell out of that hand, regress, regress, regress. And I can agree with it. And I talked about it. It's just a matter of when. Like, when is the right time? I think the right time for me to regress is when I get to neutral. And then I'm like, okay, now let's reset. Let's restart and go again. That would have been the right time. We just didn't get there. So, all right, with that said, let's go back up here and look at my pretty and sick face. We'll talk about some of the comments that I got here in chat. And again, if you want to talk to me, PC it, and I'll answer your questions here. Oh yeah, Jen, tell about the YOLO roll. So let me show you this real quick. I got I had this set of chips, and these are chips from my local casino, Tulalip Casino up there in Everett. If you all come to Seattle, and I think one day we'll organize a meetup here, maybe over the summer. We'll do like a meetup in Seattle. Here's our casino chips, the Tulalip Casino. And what I've got in front of me here is I've got, it's hard to kind of show it, but I've got 75, I've got 90, 92 bucks. Okay. Not a lot of money, right? But I started with 64 and I got whacked once, but I'm doing the YOLO thing. So I went 64 across and I hit one number, pulled it all down. And I brought back, but I think I hit for 14 bucks, right? So I brought back 76 bucks to the house, and I went back to the casino with Jen, and I'm like, okay, here's my 76 bucks. we're going to go. And I went on one of her come out rolls. I went, I'm going all in. And I took this set of chips, this exact set of chips, threw it out there and went 76 across, or 76 across for one roll. And she hit a 9, which was fantastic. I got 14 more bucks, pulled all that down, and here it is. Right, I'm bringing this actual pile of chips back and forth every time to the casino. I'm going to YOLO this thing up to hopefully $1,000. That's my goal. This is like not my actual play bankroll. This is just a YOLO bankroll. But yeah, I told Jen, those guys kept passing us the dice because we were shooting so well. And I said, Jen, I trust you. And here I go. And I put the whole thing across, working on the come out. And she's kind of crapping her pants like, oh my God, no pressure. So, you know, she got me the number, which was cool. She rolled her signature 9 and that was cool. Anyway, that was cool. So this is my YOLO money. I've lost it once. I got this up to like $160 at one point, lost it on a 7 and restarted it a couple of weeks ago. So now I'm doing a new YOLO run and there it is. So maybe I'll share those with you if I get some more luck in that. So that was a fun time, Jen. Jen says, whenever I can, take the 270 and be out of the hand. Not a bad idea. But again, if you're down 1,500, what does 270 help you, right? You're at some point when you're in recovery mode, you've got to recover. And I think when I'm up at the upper tiers, yeah, bring the 270 back and go. That first shooter that was up 320, I should have pulled 270 out. I should have regressed in the first shooter. By shooter 11 or whatever that was, it's too late at that point. Oh, Betty, Craig, take a shot at Jack. I should have some Irish coffee to help this out. This is brutal for sure. Voila, Walter Weeks, a simple DP, DC, like my southern border would have been great today. Actually, the southern border wouldn't have done so great. I had too many immediate 7s. Today would have been a horseman's delight today. Today would have been, and yesterday and Monday, the horseman with all those quick 7s would have been a star maker. That thing would have made $10,000 with all the short 7s. Some days are built for that, right? And that's why I say all the time, you got to have multiple things in your holster, right? Multiple, if you're Batman, like what's on your bat belt. Sometimes you need shark repellent. Sometimes you need a hook, right? And when you're playing paycheck style, having a horseman or having a come ladder or having a moon bow or having a Philly special that you can reach into your pocket and go to, right? Based on what's happening out there, that's an important thing. And that's why we practice all this stuff, because I get really good at certain ones and I can jump in and out as I need to. On the paycheck show, I never do that. I just play the thing straight up for an hour and we see what we get out of it. So it doesn't always work out so great. There it is. Let's see. Yeah, Jen says I should collect in the 6 and 8. So I've thought about that. I've thought about the Philly special, just getting them up there right away at $90 as the first play, which would make the outlay 330 instead of 270. But those are rack and blacks the whole time. And I can actually use that to press out. That's a whole different strategy than this one. The Philly special really is the best way to play a 4 and 10, the best way to play a 5 and 9, and the best way to play a 6 and 8, kind of smushed together. Yeah, it doesn't. It again, you can't throw like trash like I did today and have any kind of a success. Dr. S says, this is a big one here in my class. Your premise is get your paycheck once a day. Some days you got to put in some overtime. Yeah, for sure. The Stern bet can work. I've done the Stern before. I did it twice on the show. I did the Stern 2. One, I haven't done the Stern 3. I'm not sure I've done the Stern 3. I definitely done the Stern 2 a couple of times, and both times I ran it straight to 0. We did it twice. Once in the don't pass, once in the field. I got crushed. But you're right. Sometimes it's not going to work. And either you have two choices. One is I'm playing this way and it doesn't work and I leave and go to a different table with half my bankroll. Like do what Victor always says, leave with half your bankroll, go somewhere else, try it again. Or you stay at the table and switch and try and chase the table. Either way, right? It's not always going to be walk up, win 5 bets, 5 black chips, and go home. It's not always going to be that way. Some days it's that easy. A lot of times it ain't. That's why I say back at the other screen here, a good paycheck play. Why is it not showing? A good paycheck play has to be have some fight back in it. And that's why, like, I think your Tim Horton has fight back built into it. I think Skills Moonbow, although it's incredibly high volatility for the first couple of rolls, once you're set, it's got fight back built into it because you're going to win on those early sevens and the come out weirdness and everything else. So it's got some of that built into it in areas you don't expect it to have it built into it, but it's high volatility for a couple of rolls. The other ones that win are just, like I said, they work well. So what else do we have to talk about? Any questions? Any capital Q questions in here that I can answer? No questions, no more PCs. I'm guessing you're all sick of hearing my voice. And I'm tired of talking. I'm sorry, my throat is literally on fire right now. I've said what I have to say. So if you have more questions, please put them in. We can talk. Otherwise, I'm probably going to cut the show a little short here because I need to get some throat drops and some Theraflu in me and try and work this thing out before I get to another 9 straight hours of freaking talking. So yeah, anything else you want? Otherwise, we're going to go 3, 2, 1 and call it here. Sorry for the short show, but it is what it is today. I'm looking. Let me go to the regular chat and see if there's anything out there without a PC on it that you want me to address. Skills says, am I going to deal tonight? We will see. If my throat clears up, I have a break in my afternoon between like 3 and 5. If my throat feels good, I'll go back out there at 3:30, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock range, and I'll do an hour. And we'll do a little session out there. I'll probably just throw and bet myself. But it'll be more of a crapsy design session, not so much me betting for myself. It'll be more just me throwing for you. So if I feel up to it, I will. I'll put an announcement out in Discord today if that's going to be the case. Okay. Yeah, drink a hot toddy. Everybody's telling me to drink alcohol. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. You guys, I should probably do that actually. Probably make me feel a ton better for sure. So all right, Jen, add Bailey's to my coffee. I am drinking Theraflu. The lemon honey Theraflu works pretty good. But yeah, I appreciate all of it, guys. Thank you for your advice. Yes, vitamin C. I love me some emergency. That stuff is awesome. And oranges. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here, rest it up a little bit. I'll see you maybe this afternoon. I'll let you know in Discord if I'm going to. If not, for sure, I'll see you in the morning. So thanks again for being patient with my voice for both shows here. I appreciate your time more than you know. And that's it. God bless y'all. Thanks. See you in a little bit.